Hi, how you doing? So nice to see you guys. So lovely to be with you on my first Instagram Live. This is my maiden Instagram Live voyage, and we're going to be getting started in a second. I'm looking for my guest to join us. And my guest today is Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. She was on the Love Never Dies radio show a week ago, and Dr. Turndorf turned on the Love TV show on Binge Networks. And it was love at first sight and bite, the sound bite that is. And I may need glasses. I'm using a tiny, tiny little phone here, and I'm waiting to look for her request to join, and so far I do not see her request, but I'm saying hi to all my followers. So nice to see you all. We've been connected, but I've never been live before today. So, howdy everybody, so nice to see you. So what is happening here? Hello everyone. The reason we're doing the Instagram Live on my page instead of Dr. Sherry Tenpenny's page is because Instagram shut her down and has prevented her from doing a live Instagram due to her controversial topic of anti-vaccinations. She's an anti-vaxxer. Her website is vaxxer.com. And so censorship has hit her on Instagram, and they're not allowing her to do live. So we agreed to have her come on to my Instagram, and I'm waiting to see if here she is. Here's my girl. Howdy, honey. Sherry, this is my maiden voyage Instagram Live. I'm losing my Instagram Live virginity today, and I'm hoping there won't be too much blood. But since you're such a skilled doctor, if there is blood loss, you know what to do.
Okay.
I was telling everybody that you were on the Love Never Dies radio show and the Dr. Turndorf Turn on the Love show on Binge Networks TV, and it was love at first bite for me, and I think for you too. We just instantly clicked.
Yep.
So
We did.
And of course I have to have a frog in my throat, Sherry, and I wonder why women get their periods on their wedding nights and public speakers always get frogs in their throat on the day of their appearances. It's always this way.
I know. It's always like that. I don't quite get it.
Are you looking for something? You seem to be looking for something.
I am. I'm looking for my headset, which I have not really left this chair in the last, since 9 o'clock this morning, and it doesn't seem to be here.
It is a moving headset.
It is. Well, I'll can you hear
me? If you're
okay?
sitting on it, it's the behind set. Sending love back to you. We're getting so many folks giving us lovely emojis and love messages. So I was telling everybody, Sherry, that your live Instagram was shut down.
Well, censored. Censored.
Yeah, you got censored from doing live, which is like whatever happened to freedom of speech. So we decided to do it live on my Instagram, and I told your assistant that I wanted to allow this live event to run like it's running on your page, on your Instagram live page, right? Because I know we were going to talk about the webinar, Finding Peace Amidst the Pandemic, that I'm hosting on August 15th for your people only. So I wanted to, turn it over to you so that you could say hi to your folks.
Well, I say hi to my folks, and I'm happy to be led. So just ask me questions. I'm usually better at that than just monologuing. So.
All right. Well, one of the things I thought that I would share a few words about where we're going to go in the webinar, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because people in your following or may not know me. So in the webinar, I'm going to be talking about the latest NIH published research proving that all it takes is one accident, one illness, or one stress to trigger a biochemical imbalance that flushes out a specific nutrient from the body. And it's the loss of this nutrient that triggers HPA axis dysfunction, which is hippocampus pituitary axis dysfunction, which the research shows causes PTSD. And so I developed this webinar because I am facing now the truth, the painful truth that this coronavirus pandemic stress has caused what I'm calling a global PTSD pandemic. And there's no doubt because the stress worldwide has made people lose this nutrient, and we all have PTSD more or less. But the good news is that supplementing with this nutrient instantly reverses stress and PTSD. And we're going to talk in the webinar more about how the nutrient that I'm speaking of is needed in over 1,000 body functions, that every disease and condition is really this nutrient deficiency in disguise. And I'm going to be demonstrating in the webinar the energetic system upgrade. And one lucky participant is going to experience that healing of the upgrade on the spot. And I use this nutrient as the first step in the energetic system upgrade. And the upgrade doesn't just reverse stress and PTSD. I use it to reverse and release energetic, physical, emotional, or spiritual blocks too. So I thought what we could talk about is your firsthand experience with the energetic system upgrade, because I gave you an upgrade last week and I thought you might like to share about it.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting because what got me really interested, I mean, we just did your typical interview, right? Like I've done like 150 of these or so since April the 3rd about vaccines and the pandemic and all of that. And then we just found, Jamie and I just found it out that we just like connect on so many levels. I mean, we just have a lot of synergies in our lives and our past in life and our associations with people, even our age, we're the same age. And so, you know, we just, so we after we did the, her actual interview for her radio show, we actually hung out for like another hour, and then we just talked and got to know each other better. And then she graciously decided to, you know, ask me if I would want to participate in one of these energetic upgrades to know what it felt like and what she was like. And, you know, what was interesting to me was while I was on your radio show, because on her radio show, she actually has commercials for her books. So I'm listening to about her books about, you know, connecting with people that you love so much after they passed away, which was a really important thing for me. And actually afterwards I said to her, I said, where were you 6 years ago when Kevin died? You know, when my husband passed away, which took me about 3 years to be able to stand up after that, you know. And so that's been almost January, it'll be 7 years since he's been gone. And so we got to talking about that. And she said, well, would you like to just like reconnect with that and kind of heal some of those things that happened? And I said, yeah, that would be amazing. So we did one of her energetic upgrades, which includes—
And I sent you, I had a sample of this special nutrient sent to you because that's the first step in the energetic system upgrade. So then when we got together, I said, okay, you have it, you know, and then we put that as step one, right?
Right. And so we did that, and that upgrade, you put it here and over your heart. And, you know, because I had grief, we put it over my lungs, which, you know, energetically lungs is about grief. And then we had this really amazing guided imagery, you know, perspective. And then we had this whole energy upgrade and, you know, release from things that are a little too personal for me to talk about.
It's okay. Only your hairdresser and Dr. Turndorf know for sure. But we definitely released more than stress or PTSD. We definitely released some very deep energetic blockages. You know, for your people who don't know me, I was always able to do hands-on and distance healing on people and animals. But when my husband left his body from a bee sting, my skills deepened. So the energetic system upgrade is a combination of my, 37 years as a psychoanalyst, but also it combines my skills as a healer, an energy healer as well, and this special nutrient. It's a synergistic blend. Yeah.
Yeah. And so afterwards, I just felt so much at peace, so much better, so much. I was at the office yesterday and I was testing out some of the things that we talked about at the office, and it was better, like definitely better for the first time in 25 years,
In your whole career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That's huge, Sherry.
What's that?
That's huge.
I know. So it was just kind of again, it's some things are a little bit too personal that I don't feel real comfortable sharing with a large group, but just suffice it to say that there were some issues with being a doctor and working in my clinic that I've had hanging around for decades. And I've tried lots of different things to have closure with it and to heal it and to move it aside and move through it, move past it, move whatever. And in that one session with Dr. Jamie, it's just probably 80% gone. And it's been that's been nagging at me for 30 years.
That is so wonderful. What a wonderful, I'm so happy to hear this. And you surprised me now with the news, because I felt the energetic system upgrade session released you. And this is the first time I'm hearing, yes, 80% is huge. And, sometimes there's additional layers of the onion, so we can always go back and peel that last layer and cry a little more as we cry when we peel onions.
Exactly.
So let me give everybody the address to register for this energetic system. Well, we're calling it Finding Peace Amidst the Pandemic, but I'm not limiting the healing to only PTSD. I know that that's the outer layer of the onion. We all have PTSD, and the energetic system upgrade and this special nutrient will release it. But whatever block people have, emotional, physical, spiritual, physical, whatever it is, I'll help you release it. So to sign up for the webinar, which is on August 15th, go to drjamieturndorf.com/finding peace. Finding peace. I don't know, Sherry, because I'm an Instagram virgin, is there a way to put a link into this live feed?
I think so. I think Michelle can do that. She's listening. And so I think she can type it in down at the bottom.
Oh, thank you, because my hands are busy enough just holding the phone. So, yeah, drjamieturndorf.com, Finding Peace. Now, the great thing is when you register, I've arranged, now my name is not spelled right here. Whoever put that in, it's D-O-R-F, not D-O-E-F. Are you a homeopath? No, my training is not in homeopathy. My doctorate's in psych. And now, can we, so the address is drjamieturndorf.com, Finding Peace, /Finding Peace. And I've arranged to have a gift sent to every participant of the webinar. You're going to receive a free sample of this ingredient, and at no cost. But you have to register today so that if you're outside the U.S., we're sure to get the nutrient to you by mail in time for the webinar, so that everybody who's with us in the webinar will be able to have the experience of the upgrade, okay? Is there anything else we need to say, my darling?
Well, I think that I think you should talk to them a little bit about your book and a little bit about what how you got into doing this, because I thought it was just such a fascinating story. And I think you can tell them a little bit more about you and why it's so important, because a lot of these people know me, and so you need to know a little bit more about you and how you got into this, because that's a fascinating story.
All right. Well, I'll go naked here. I'm live, so I might as well go naked, right? So for almost 30 years, I was married to the love of my life, a man named Émile Jean-Pain, who for most of his life had been one of the most famous Jesuit priests. He taught at the Vatican, and he founded a movement called Liberation Theology to fight church oppression from within. And he was a radical feminist Jesuit priest. He didn't want to see women trapped in marriages where they were being abused, and he publicly opposed the Pope and the Catholic Church as they were trying to block the legalization of divorce in Italy. He fought on the grounds of religious freedom, liberation theology. The church should butt out of the private sector. He won, got the divorce bill passed, changed the course of Italian history, and soon after, the Pope granted him the dispensation of his vows so he wouldn't be excommunicated. He left the Jesuit order and the priesthood, and Vassar College recruited him to be the chair of the Department of Sociology. Now, he was a premonition in my mind from the time I was a little girl. Did I tell you this, Sherry? So I had a vision of the man I would one day marry. I saw his face and his body. And so I said, I'm not going to date. I will wait until this man appears in my life. A very medieval concept for a girl growing up in the 70s. Everybody was screwing everybody back then. And I was a virgin, not just an Instagram virgin, but I mean, I was just so innocent. And he did appear on the first day of my freshman year at Vassar College. And I had an out-of-body experience. My body was in his office, but my soul shot at high speed through the end to the end of my life through a tunnel, and I saw the white light. And then when I came back into my body, I got this message: remember every aspect of this meeting. He's going to be everything to you one day. And 4 years later, he helped me with my thesis, and within a couple of weeks we knew we were soulmates. He was the man I had seen, and we were inseparable from that point on. So now, how does all of this link up with the energetic system upgrade? So I was an atheist, didn't believe in God or the afterlife, and he's like one of the most devout men in history. The Dalai Lama said he's one of the 50 men of all time who's one with God. He leaves his body and he starts making his presence known to me, moving things, turning lights on and off. If you go to my Ask Dr. Love YouTube channel, you'll see videos of me talking to him, saying, turn the light on, Jean. He turns it on. Anyway, so I wrote my memoir, Love Never Dies. I began teaching people all over the world how to reconnect and heal unfinished business. Now, here's the thing that's not in Love Never Dies. Did I tell you this about how the energetic system, I didn't tell you this either? Oh my Lord, do you really want me to do this? You really want me to do this? So right after Jean left his body, he appeared in a visitation and he said to me, I'm going to send you a man who's younger, never married, no kids, and who will be grateful to you for saving his life the way you saved mine. And that's what happened. But it was 11 years later, he sent a man, and it was love at first sight, and then the poop hit the fan. It turned out he was a 4-time Afghanistan veteran, a state trooper, bad PTSD, and he withdrew. And I was extremely heartbroken. And I was also upset with my husband in spirit. I'm like, dude, you know, you really hurt me, you know? And I say to people, you know, when you're mad at your husband and he's in a body, you go sleep in the guest room. But when you're mad at your husband in spirit, what do you do? So I had a real dark night with him. And I finally realized, it took me a year to understand that this was all part of a calling. For me to develop a method for healing everyone with PTSD the way I couldn't heal this man. But the love in my heart for him instilled in me the wish to heal everyone with PTSD. So I leave New York where I'm living, I move to Florida, and once I'm in Florida, I start hearing, you have a new method coming. It's an energetic method. I meet with a psychic. She says, oh, you're coming out this year in your name with an energetic method. She didn't even know who I was. I didn't tell her my name. That night in my coach's training, I train coaches in my transdimensional grief resolution method. I'm in the coach's training and I hear a bell ring and a computer voice says, excuse me, time for a system upgrade. And I had asked my husband to give me the name of the method earlier that day. The bell rings and we hear this voice and we hear this, and it didn't come from anyone's computer. So now I have the name. I have no idea what the message is. And last but not least, I meet the US distributors of this special nutrient, And through my research, I discover it's the depletion of this nutrient that triggers the PTSD, and most diseases and most conditions actually are a deficiency of this nutrient because it's needed for 1,000 enzyme functions of the body. So I began incorporating this nutrient in the energetic system upgrades, and that's the story. Now I got to have a nap.
Well, I want to add something to that. So it's like, so it's, because I want to go back to where we started with this whole Instagram line when you said that there's a global PTSD from this pandemic, global
Yes.
PTSD, because
Yes.
I think that really sums it up, because I've been using an analogy of saying, and I've said it a few times now in some of the interviews I've done, that it's like somebody's brain was a magnet, and all of those little BBs coming at you from the television, from the radio,
Yes.
from advertisements, from your neighbors, from your coworkers, were like little steel balls that went into your brain, and they're stuck there. Like those balls are just stuck into your brain, like a stuck. And
exactly.
And I truly believe that if the government came clean tomorrow and said, we made a mistake, take off your mask, hug your friends, delete that app from your phone, 25 to 30% of the global population would not be able to do it, because it's so PTSD. It's like, once you explain, if somebody's had PTSD from, say, being in a war zone, and if you take them out of the war zone and you put them in a warm and fuzzy living room with a bunch of puppies crawling all over them, telling them it's safe, they still have
it doesn't
PTSD.
matter. Exactly, Sherry. You're so right, because what happens is because the depletion of the nutrient causes this HPA axis dysfunction, which is synonymous with PTSD. PTSD is HPA axis dysfunction, and time does not reverse the dysfunction. The fact is, this nutrient, once depleted, gets more and more depleted. This is why people get sicker as they age, and why time doesn't fix PTSD, and why also when people start taking all the Western drugs, they become sicker and sicker, and then they get more drugs because the drugs themselves deplete this nutrient. So now we need more drugs to combat the next disease that has been imposed upon us by this prescription medication. So that's why I say most diseases and conditions are this deficiency in disguise. PTSD is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
We have so much to talk about. Yeah.
And so then the whole point of why after Jamie and I connected, and after we've had conversations, and after I experienced the upgrade and the nutrient sort of thing, which I'm still using, by the way.
Good.
And so is that I just felt like, we talked about it, and she said, well, do you think if we did a webinar for your group of people, do you think that they would benefit from this and they would really enjoy it, and that perhaps they could want to do more and, continue to do more sorts of healing? I said, yeah, let's give it a go. Let's see if we can do. And so she's going to be talking a little bit more about that. And so you need to register for the webinar. And Michelle's put it up there a couple of times. I think she can put it up again. But the most important thing that I want everybody here to do, please do this. If you love me, it's a really simple thing you can do. Go to Vaxxter.com, V as in Victor, AXXTER.com, and join my email list, because we're going to be sending out announcements about this webinar. We'll be sending out the link. The webinar is actually on August the 15th. So it's a little ways out, because we would need everybody to register today, so that you can, when you register for the seminar. How much is the webinar? Jamie?
Oh, so basically, like I said, I'm just charging. I don't sell this nutrient. I am not an affiliate. But what I'm doing is I'm redirecting you to the exclusive US distributor. This is the purest and most potent form of this nutrient. You can't get it anywhere else. So I'm just directing people to their PayPal. And the price you're paying for the webinar is so that basically they can ship you the nutrient. This is a service and a ministry, because like I said, I don't sell it. People are asking what it is. You can't get it any other way but through this link. That's the thing. It's not available anywhere else. So
and it has to do with the potency and the way that it's made,
and the purity,
and the purity of it. And so it's not going to be the same thing. It's not going to be the same.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And you felt, I mean, basically, the minute I had you begin with this nutrient, it's like electromagnetic paddles that raise your vibration. So if you need to connect to spirit as part of your energetic system upgrade, your vibration is higher. But it also turns on the electromagnetic functions of the heart, you know, and all the cells. So you're much more receptive to receive the energetic system upgrade. I think now it's sort of like, Dr. Sherry, don't you agree with me? People say, well, can you send me a page describing the energetic system upgrade? That's like saying, can you send me a booklet on what an orgasm feels like? I mean, you just got to experience it. So just join us at the webinar, you know, on the 15th, and you'll experience it with us. All right?
Well, because part of participating in the webinar is the whole experience. It's the nutrient, it's this particular type of nutrient, it's the time, quiet time, it's the healing experience. And so I don't think it's fair for you guys to keep saying, tell us what it is, and we don't have to pay, and why are you charging for this? Because, you know, Jamie and I both give huge amounts of time in our life for free. And what she's charging for this is simply to be able to send you the package of the nutrient. It's the shipping and international shipping of what this is going to be. So it's a little disturbing to me, for all the free time that we give away, that people would be upset because they have to pay for something. You know, if that's not for you, then this is not the place for you either. It's about supporting the people who support you and love you and give their time and dedication and put their lives on the line for you. And so I don't think it's that much to ask. And if it's too much,
And
well,
that's true too. Sherry, you're taking a lot of heat. You've had your live Instagram turned off. You know, that's been a great concern for me. I'm glad you spoke up. I'm the first relationship advice site on the web, and I have given my time for, my website began in 1995, and I gave myself for free for decades. And it actually burned me out a lot, Dr. Sherry, because, you know, what I found was I wasn't asking for anything. And it got to the point where, you know, when I did say, would you, you know, like to pay for, no, I want it for free. So there's something about that it felt awful, actually, to me, you know, really did, because of how much you and I do put out. And everything that you and I do is really based in a heart-focused mission, you know, including this latest energetic system upgrade. And so I think there's nothing more for us to say today. I have been really enjoyed being with you and saying hi to your tribe, and we'll be talking, I'm sure, before the webinar.
I do too. We'll be fine. So either this is for you guys or it's not. We're just making it available. It's like saying, you know, here's a t-shirt. If you want to buy it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. And we're going to
But I've got to say, Sherry, everyone on the planet is deficient in this nutrient. And it's like people think, oh, it's not for me. Well, if you want to live a long and healthy life, you need it. We're all deficient, you know?
Great.
So,
all right, guys.
All right.
Well, thanks for showing up with us here this afternoon. And we hope we'll see you. Well, are we doing another one of these before the 15th, Jamie?
I don't know that we were. I think, though, your assistant thought that she might make the recording available.
Okay. All right. Because we are a month out. And we needed to do this a month out because it needs time for you guys to register and the shipping and things, because shipping these days is just insane. I mean, I live in Cleveland. I shipped a box to Michelle in Toronto. I could have like driven it over there faster. You know, it took almost 2 weeks, you know, to get there. So, but anyways, I think this will be something that you guys will enjoy. And if you don't, that's okay too. It's our job to make things available to people, and then you can pick and choose what feels right for you. So for that, thanks for being here this afternoon, everybody. Nice seeing you again, Jamie. And we'll talk again.
You too, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.